Beneath the city, the beast stirs, tormented by hunger. That fearsome appetite, once kindled, will not be extinguished.
Ooh, still get chills from that. Welcome back, everybody, to the EULCS Spring Promotion Tournament, where we're about to jump into Game 2 between Misfits and Origen. But as you just saw, just a reminder here, Summer Split's coming to an end pretty soon. Krakow, Poland's where we're headed at the end of the month, and tickets are still on sale at a special reduced price, so head to EULCS1.com for details on how you can join us there, as the best team in Europe is crowned on the road to Worlds. See how that one goes.
That's the road to Worlds. We're on a slightly different road, and that is the
LCS.
2017 Spring Split for LCS.
Right.
And Origen just did to Misfits what Misfits did to every team in Challenger in the Summer Split. So honestly, Origen, not a lot of mistakes in that game. Looked pretty good. Looked solid, which honestly, I think a lot of Origen fans will take a sigh of relief on that Origen made decent map moves, didn't really feel challenged, and just outplayed Misfits across the map for the majority. The analyst desk were talking about the lane setups and how Misfits picked themselves into a corner, but that's only half the battle. Origen played it out well.
Yeah, and they played really crucially as a team. These guys have gone on record saying, you know, we just need to get on the same page. We need to get together. Well, they took that page, they threw the whole book, and it was called Macro at Misfits, and they just won.
Yeah, they punished Misfits in a few key areas and were able to kind of shut them down very handily. I wasn't expecting quite that level from Origen, and maybe not the passivity of, or whatever word you'd say they were passive for Misfits. Yeah. So I want to see a change up in Champ Select now for Misfits. I want to see them pick better lane matchups. I want to see them come out with something different.
Well, we'll have to find out, and we will shortly as we're loading up into picks and bans. Good handoff, good timing. I like it. Cast in first ban. Misfits on the blue side yet again. Elect the same bans, and it's followed by Origen also banning the LeBlanc one more time.
I feel like the LeBlanc is actually somewhat of a free ban here, because I don't even think it's that influential in all standings against Selfie. Sure, he plays it, but it's not exactly like if he gets his hands on it, it's a done deal. Whereas I think Misfits, the same thing about the Malzahar. Like, banning Malzahar on blue side is a rough one. Again, we're in the situation where Nidalee is there, Karma is available for his first pick. Ooh.
Okay, so we're switching it up a little bit. Had the exact same bans, if a little out of order, but the Gragas is first picked by Llama Bear.
So we'll see if that gives him a little bit more presence, the ability to flash body slam in the early game, and it looks like we may have turnabout being a bit of fair play here if Soaz wants to flex that Trundle. They could very easily go Trundle and then lock another top laner later and kind of lock Misfits into a rough situation when it comes to a top lane matchup.
Well, we'll see. Maybe we see things turned around the other direction and Alfari goes for the Gnar. Still plenty of time, though, to see if Origen do want to lock that Trundle, and they do, along with the Rek'Sai for Amazing.
So, Trundle, Rek'Sai locked in. I feel like this matchup, I want to see more from Llama Bear on.
Yeah.
He farmed a whole lot.
He looked a lot more like a llama than a bear.
Amazing pushed him back into his jungle and said, well, you can't go to a lane, you can't get any kind of presence in the early game, so Karma will be locked in, and actually taking their top lane is the blind rotation here. So picking up the Gnar, picking up the Karma alongside it. So it means that if the Trundle does end up in the top lane, it's a tough matchup, but we may see an adjustment into something else in the top lane if they want to run it down as a support for that Trundle. So we'll see whether Origen swap things around.
All right, Origen side, still expecting to see what the AD carry is going to be. The support could possibly be that Trundle, but as you mentioned, it was flexible. I want to see the Bard from one of these teams.
Yeah, well, it depends on what Origen lock in. The Ashe could be another possibility here from Origen. They did it in the first game. Sivir is also available unless they want to steal the Lucian away from Hans Sama. Interested to see what Hans is going to come out with if that Lucian is taken away. If Peke picks the Sivir, he's likely to just go Lucian anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this is another comfortable thing, relatively speaking, for Peke. He played a fair bit of Sivir when they were swapping it around. One thing we didn't talk about as much up until now, since we hit it in the game one and just didn't happen, was that Gangplank, but that's not going to get locked. Juked at the last second, the Aurelia.
Again, Alfari finds himself in a really tough matchup. And now what this basically is doing is saying, if we end up in standard lane, Soaz is going to crush you. I don't care how our bottom lane goes, because we're playing a utility AD carry that wants to get to the late game and teamfight anyway. But our 1v1, we're going to crush you. And it's the second time in a row that it's a bad matchup for Alphari that Misfits have taken early and blocked themselves into. And they have better tools to be out on the map and to engage. They've got the Karma, they've got the Gragas, now they've got the Lucian and the Vlad alongside. So they do have fairly strong team fight throughout all of that. I wonder what the mid lane matchup is going to be here, looking at Power of Evil going up against this Vladimir.
Yeah. See what Power decides to lock in. We saw the Cinder Hover a little earlier on, but he didn't seem to have too much trouble last game around. Of course, the Cassiopeia is still an option.
Yeah, could very well still go for it. Gives them a little bit team fight again. He played the Cogmore a few weeks back.
So did Peke.
Yeah, that is true, but with the Sivir locked
in,
it's likely, if they pick it, to go into that mid lane. Kind of a legacy pick for him, just like the Cassiopeia, which is the one that gets locked in. So Origen,
similar comps.
A couple of changes to their comp, not quite the same engage potential out of this lineup, but again, strong top lane matchup for them, strong mid lane matchup for them, and a bottom lane matchup that has the potential to go either way if Hansama can dominate Peke, but becomes a little difficult once you put the Trundle and the Karma in the mix.
Yeah, I'm looking out for, again, the jungler presence, because last time Llama Bear was really stopped up by Amazing. Had no way to get involved in the early lanes, and we saw, I mean, we've seen him come in, and we don't know exactly how he was going to perform because it's only been one game in Challenger, so it was already a lot of question marks surrounding this new jungler, but he wasn't able to do much against Amazing. As
many question marks as there are a lot of people saying, well, why isn't Wisdom playing? Why isn't Wisdom playing? Misfits have chosen to start Llama Bear. Wisdom is here in the studio and is likely ready to go if they wanted to play with him. So this is Misfits' choice to put Llama Bear in for a second game here. I don't think he had a bad game in game one. I just don't think he offered anything to Misfits, and it made it so difficult to turn the lanes around. Kind of one of those damned if you do situations, damned if you don't, because how do you win lanes for losing lane matchups? Very, very tough for Llama Bear to be everywhere on the map.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, but if you guys think you can tell, hop on Twitter, let us know. Hashtag MSF win or hashtag OG win over at LoL Esports. Origen currently leading the series 1-0. Can they do it again? Or will Misfits fire back? Are we in for a long series? I guess we'll find out.
We'll see. This is where we'll see if turnabout comes for the Misfits here. They're going to need it because, honestly, the momentum that Origen will get from being 2 games up, looking at how game 1 went, potentially, now we look at game 2, we'll see whether Misfits can regroup. Better options for them this time.
All right, we've hit the rift. Part 2. Misfits, once again, looking to come out the gates without any trickery. Last time we saw this blind swap matched by the blind swap at Australian lanes. Will Origen opt to change it up again? So far, it doesn't look like it.
I honestly feel like this needs to end up in a lane swap for Misfits' sake. Because I feel like their phase 1 of the lane swap and phase 2 should be up to par. We know, as Yamato Cannon and Youngbuck have been kind of vocal on the desk, that at least some of the teams up at the top side of the LCS have been scrimming against Misfits. So their macro game with regards to standard lane swaps must be good. Like, it has to be up to a point, otherwise they would have got crushed by Splice and G2.
Yeah, we'll see as Peke and Hybrid do back away here. Hansama and Ignar are actually staying bottom side, but they have to know what's going on here. And we'll take a look once again at the Keystone Masteries. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Last time the Thresh, of course, on the Thunderlords was not tanky enough to survive.
Nope.
But that's not a problem this time.
Not a problem this time, but what will become a problem is Alphari trying to play up against Soaz in the Na versus Aurelia matchup. Yeah,
it's rough, man. Alphari's taken some pretty bad matchups in his time, but he usually has crushed them. Soaz is a top laner of a different caliber, however.
Yes, that is also way, way far and beyond true. Cannot really overemphasize how much of a difference Soaz makes to a lot of the top laners we see in Challenger, but Hybrid's going to go in and interrupt. Llama Bear's taking a lot of damage off this.
Oh, yeah. This is already not looking good. He does get the smite down, but look at how low his health bar is. A big chomp Hybrid takes. Further slowing down that jungle pathing.
And that's the whole reason why you do this while the camp is still alive and not later like we've seen some supports do. You need that damage from the extra camp. The support on his own is not enough. And you can see how Hybrid was backing away from the camp, so that it aggroes onto Llama Bear, back and forth on it to make sure that that damage stays persistent on to Llama Bear. So a little bit of damage done, not exactly the biggest of difficulties to manage. But here we go, into the lane swap. This is the real test. Misfits, will we see a standard lane swap setup come out from them. You can see it's a slower push already onto the tower, only by a little bit, but we saw Rocket and Millennium be like 10 seconds apart yesterday.
Yeah, this is not quite that level, so Misfits have been able to catch up a little bit better, and they have Illusion, so in theory, they can even this out just about, but it's still going to be fairly close, and obviously keeping an eye on the mid lane as well while we do all of this, because the last time it was quite quiet, something we didn't really expect out of Selfie, who really had stepped it up in the Challenger Series.
Ooh, look at how much Ignar and Hansama had to tank up the minions behind to try and accelerate this push, to speed up their push alongside what Origen are doing.
Ooh, Hans is really
very,
low.
very low.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
He's
Dangerous
okay.
game.
He's getting out. There's no pressure on him on that one. But the difficulty of this lane swap specifically is that Infernal Drake is the first Drake that is coming up, and that gives Origen the presence around the Dragon Pit when phase 2 of this lane swap starts. You can see Origen are still slightly further ahead because Peke and Hybrid recalled earlier. About the distance between Inhibitor Tower and Inner Tower is the one, so only a couple of seconds difference. Shouldn't be that important as we go forward, because Origen will likely stop off at Drake after this second tower push anyway.
Amazing is still hanging here too, and he's spotted by Ignar as Lafari is pushed back by the dual lane of Origen. Keeps on throwing out the boomerangs to cover his tracks. A lot of vision here for the Origen team inside of Misfits jungle.
And what that was for was just getting Soaz as far ahead as he can. You can see he is up when it comes to the experience right now. Origen are going to go into the bottom lane and just push Alphari back away from the turret, make sure he can't even get the experience from the creeps that die to the tower. And again, this is compounding what is a difficult matchup. As soon as this ends up that Soaz has time in lane against Alphari, Alphari is gonna struggle. And there's no real way for him to get back into this without Llama there helping him.
Yeah, troubling already. Trying to negate an advantage that Misfits had brought into this matchup. Origen playing the smart game once again, finding themselves with a momentary edge. However, it's 3 on the top and 2 on the bottom for now.
That's
no teleport being spent by Soaz just yet.
Yeah, exactly. Alphari just used his teleport to go up there, but Soaz is already down in the bottom lane. He didn't need to teleport down, so that's the summoner advantage going over to Origen. It's the cost for Misfits trying to speed this up. They had to expend something to try and get the push back on.
And it's going to be hard for them now to try and do anything contesting the Drake. So if Origen really want to add on and add on and add on, they can start to stack it up a little bit here, as Misfits will back away from the top turret, giving the solo EXP, the solo gold rather, over to the Gnar. Going to get him back into this one. Ignar actually comes right back in for just a second.
And Origen have basically run out of minions, so they can't afford to do the same. So this gives a little bit more to Alphari, but also Origen will back out as a unit and then take the dragon. So after the turret has fallen as a unit, now Soaz will stick around, try and get as much of this wave as he can. Look how far Hansama is back away. That is fairly standard, but just means that there's plenty of time for Soaz to be able to get that wave.
And plenty of time for Origen to get this dragon. It's already down just about to 2,000 here. No contest really available. Rek'Sai tunnels aplenty all across the way. So the vision, they can see when things are coming. Smarted down, Origen pick up Drake number 1.
Decent matchup so far in the mid lane. Selfie into this Cassiopeia Power of Evil typically ends up a bad matchup, and we have seen some lanes go in the way of the Cassiopeia, but CS advantage is in his favor for now. So Misfits, that's where a little bit of their gold lead is coming from. Towers are even. Dragon has gone over to Origen so far. It is that Infernal Drake, so we'll keep our eyes on that as this game goes. But finally, perhaps Alphari has managed to get himself some time in the lane. You can see now has the experience advantage and a little bit of a farm lead too. So trying to just get as much as he can from this lane swap.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill climb though. Misfits do have a gold edge at the moment. A lot of that is farm differential, but I mean the dragon, that makes up a not as tangible in the early game benefit, but the longer it goes on, as Alphari finds himself caught, amazing.
Hybrid's already killing him off
gets
too.
the knock up. Hybrid is there. He's starting to back, actually. He knows he can't really finish the job, so Alphari will just be able to back away.
Yeah, not enough damage coming out from Origen in that scenario. The Irelia, the Sivir was so far back in the wave, couldn't quite catch up, so Alphari given a little bit of a respite there to get himself out alive. And Hansama, in the meantime, shoved a big wave into the bottom side, which is currently being absorbed, or is about to be absorbed by Peke, but most of the wave has already gone down.
Yeah, Hansama really was able to push that one quite quick right now, and he's still on the farm train. It's going to be a little bit before either of those AD carries are comfortable going at each other anyways. A couple of culls across the board.
Ooh, Soaz might have to be a little careful here.
They got
just
vision.
started forward in the lane. Look at it, just queued forward.
Okay, Llama Bear's here. Soaz He's got flash, and he gets hit by Amazing, or excuse me, Llama Bear, nowhere to go. He dashes in, but that's not going to be enough. First blood quickly picked up by Misfits.
First attempt, first blood out of Llama Bear here, and now Hansama moves to the mid lane. That was all because Soaz was trying to greedily pressure Alphari, push him further back and stop him from getting any kind of farm in the lane, because it was in an awkward position where Alphari would have looked to have frozen the lane. So Soaz sticks around a little too long. They had vision control through the top jungle, but it wasn't quite enough to keep Soaz alive as he went forward, right as the rest of the team were coming around the side. Didn't even burn his flash because he knew he was dead.
Yeah, so he saves the summoners, but he couldn't save his life, and the first kill of the game is picked up by Llama Bear here. A little bit of gold infused into him. He's able to work his way towards his completed jungle item. Llama Bear, so he's starting to see a little bit more of that aggression coming out here. A selfie gets spotted by Peke, and Hybrid Pool is on. Llama Bear covers with the barrel. Selfie dodging away from the trophy. He's going to have to back out under tower, though. Origen are moving in force.
Not sure about the exhaust in that scenario. Weird one, just because you know the pool's coming. And then Selfie has Flash and Ghosts still available, so...
Making a power play here in the jungle right now.
It was a decent attempt to try and get him, but I think it's the summoner used for not a whole lot of gain there. It will come back up fairly quickly.
Yeah. So Soaz and Hybrid are hanging around. They're hoping someone wanders into the trap, but Alphari is already backing away here. He stops it as Hybrid comes in, spots him with the pillar. Selfie forced under tower, but tower really low here. Okay. Pool's out of the ult.
Yeah, good timing on that. Realized the ult was coming, kind of expending it from Parabeetle. Problem is Parabeetle still got enough damage.
Yeah, and he's got blue buff, so he's not running out of mana anytime soon.
No, it's still a tough matchup. Now we can see it start to set in. Now the Parabeetle can turn the damage. Nice play by Selfie. We saw a couple of these come out in Challenger. There was one where he kind of turns on Kassadin away from Cassiopeia, so he's shown us a lot of prowess when playing matchups into Cassio.
Yep, definitely knows the champion in and out. But yeah, Selfie's having a rough time of it at the moment. Compared to last game when it was pretty much dead even for most of the way, despite Amazing continually intervening. Really, I think it does come down to the junglers, though. Once again, Llama Bear was able to make a play up top. Where can he go next? What else can he get done? We're close to the 10-minute mark in this game, and Misfits do have a gold edge, but that's mostly off of first blood.
Well, the other thing that Misfits now need to do somehow is punish Soaz for trying to accrue farm from the bottom side here. Problem for Soaz is the wave is now pushing out away from him, so he can try and stick around for the next wave if it pushes far enough up towards their side of the rift, which it will do. But subsequent waves after this aren't going to be easy for him to take off the bottom lane, so he's going to have to recall and try and fix this situation without getting punished too hard. Origen are going to look for pay on the other side, though, which can be risky because Alphari and Soaz obviously have both TPs available, so we may very well see a bit of a fight here.
Break the Death Rush. They're looking for Hansama, but he should be wise to this. He's got backup as well. Ignar's coming, and he turns on to Peke, dashing forward. That's a dangerous move, and Amazing comes in. Quick flash from Hansama, but he got stunned up. Instant exhaust is Amazing. Flashes back away. Ignar finds himself on the wrong side of the pillar. Llama Bear's here. This 3v3 is real bloody, but no one's going down.
Yeah, no one's going down. No TPs we used. Mid laners were starting to roam, but now they're heading back over to the mid lane, and Misfits looked like they wanted to start that fight, but very quickly pulled away. Did not want to do too much. Dragon is coming up in 35 seconds, but Misfits bot lane just used all of their summoners in exchange to basically no summoners from Origen, just a flash used by Amazing.
Yeah, Hansama got real hyphy here as Soaz moves in on Alphari with a minion wave at his back. Meganar's coming up, but the Transcendent Blades were punishing him just before that. It's going to be hard to fight over this Drake without those summoners. And Hans is still, by the way, quite behind on items right now. He hasn't even picked up, well, he's only been about halfway towards his Ghost Blade.
Yeah, he's set on around 900 gold right now, opted for the boots fairly early on. Obviously, the F-Sword kind of gives Peke a lot of just straight-up damage, but now that we're building towards the second part of the Ghost Blade, like Hansama on that 2-item spike is still fairly strong.
Okay,
don't underestimate the damage that's going to come from it. So.
Llama Bear does not want that. Takes one look at it. Dragon's actually going to get pulled out. Okay, Origen are going for the much safer way to secure this one. Llama Bear! Oh, he tried the Hail Mary. That was worth a shot.
Safe from Amazing. Secures it. No problems there. Again, though, in this game, it's really only the kill that separates the two teams. A little bit of farm here and there. But It's just a good start for Misfits compared to the last game. Origen looked very convincing in the last game. As soon as they made that move to take the turrets away, their experience really showed.
Yeah, Misfits have been able to keep up a lot better this game. However, it starts to get worrying when you see those 2 big dragons coming up.
Yeah.
And Origen will probably want to rely on that edge the longer this game goes. They're still down about 1,000 gold, but it hasn't grown much. We saw this 3-4 minutes ago, and it just hasn't changed much since then. Origen have played a very safe game, tried to wait in the brushes, maybe given up a moment's tempo to see if they can pick some kills, but nothing doing. Still not going to punish them too badly, as Misfits haven't been as proactive around the map.
Well, that's the thing now, is what's the next step for Misfits? Like, where do they look for their growth of their lead? Because, as you said, the Dragons have gone, and that basically accounts for all of the gold deficit that Origen had. So for Misfits, what's the next step here? They kind of probably have to they probably have to go up towards the Rift Herald at some point just to deny it from SOAS. The matchup is bad enough as it is.
Yeah, well, they're already learning a little bit. And you see Selfie's gone back to the much more standard pickup against this Cassiopeia. Quick Spirit Fist. He doesn't have the Executioner's Calling to worry about, but he does have Hybrid on his tail, and so is Amazing. Okay, dodging out. Alfari, meanwhile, up in the top. Meganar nowhere near completing, though. Alfari is going to hop over SOAS' head, but look at how low he is. Flashing, followed, Boomerang, and Alfari 1v1s.
Alfari just 1v1s him down. SOAS didn't really anticipate that amount of damage coming out there. And Alfari just straight up kills him. SOAS was holding a fair amount of gold.
And Amazing, he stopped up too. Queen's Wrath unburrows there. The tether's on. Amazing's gonna get stopped up. Barrel knocks him right back into the 2. Exhaust is on. He's got his flash. No, he doesn't actually. Still a few more seconds. And Llama Bear takes down Amazing. All of a sudden, Misfits are on the offensive.
All of a sudden, this is the Misfits that we started seeing in Challenger. And that was just a straight up 1v1 in the top side, followed by just a catch through the jungle in the rest of it. And that was just SOAS really disrespecting, or at least not anticipating the damage that was going to come out in this matchup. Doesn't have his Trinity Force yet and had a fair amount of gold that he was sat on. This is going to be the Rift Herald going over to Misfits.
Oh, this is going to be really big for Alfari. He was already able to 1v1 in a matchup, you know, that we talked about not being all that optimal for Alfari, but if he gets the Rift Herald buff as well, this is going to give him a huge edge. 50 minutes into this game, he'll have 20 to work with it, and he picks it up.
Picks it up. That's a little difficult now for SOAS. Still a matchup that should go in his favor, but has already lost at 1-1 versus 1. Hybrid right now wants Hansama, but Peke isn't really on the same page going forward. It was actually the ward that Hybrid wanted. Misfits looking a lot better. So this is the 1v1 that we're going to see. Look, SOAS full health. He's on 900 gold in his inventory right now. Alfari has just bought the Frozen Mallet and is able to just utilize that tankiness. Doesn't matter the fact that Alfari was tanking up the cannon minion for a while, but flash for flash, Alfari knew he was getting that kill every single time. Just so much damage came out from Hyper, the added damage from having that Frozen Mallet as well. SOAS was not ready for that 1v1.
Certainly not. So Alfari can play with a little bit more confidence right now. He's still losing out in the CS, but that's fine. He's been farming on SOAS instead. Started off. Okay, next dragon to spawn will be the Ocean. It's going to be a while before that comes up, but something that Misfits would want a little bit earlier on in this game. Still be helpful. See if they can fight over that in the future. Hansama, meanwhile, grabs himself a red buff and moves down towards bottom side where Power had already started to push the wave. Just clears that one away. He's been back to the farm game.
He's going to farm up Storm. We saw it in the last game as well. That's one thing Hansama does very effectively. Bottom lane, Hansama just completely outplayed Power of Evil's ultimate.
Yeah, he took a lot of damage, though, before the fact, and now Power's got to slither away. Alfari nearly has Meganar. Ghost is finished. Power of Evil is trying to get out of danger. Dodges what he can, but Ignar's here, has the leash. Power knows he's going nowhere, knocked into the wall, and Hansama claims a kill.
Okay, when we see the replay of that, we need to see the lead up to the fight, because Hansama on the spot turned the Power of Evil ultimate, I believe. I caught it on my screen, which has directed camera going, but it looked like a pretty big outplay in that bottom lane. Misfits are getting the momentum back. This is what they needed from Game 1. This is how Game 2 had to start for them, and they're finally showing us a little bit of what we've seen before.
Oh boy, Hybrid, he's going a little bit low, but he gets the subjugate on. Meanwhile, up in jungle, Llama Bear was chasing away Amazing. Misfits still on the offensive, 4-0 in kills, and they are playing like they can start pushing on towers. Peke taking damage, Mantra Q, in goes the ultimate from Selfie, gets exhausted, but the Hemoplague still deals some serious damage. Misfits are looking like they are on a roll right now.
They're going to have to back away after this next wave, though. They still look like they want to push this through. So Sivir had to back away. So Peke doesn't really have... Well, Origen don't really have any wave clear in this middle lane. Apart from that Cassiopeia, in goes Selfie.
Oh, he wants even more here, and Hybrid is way too low. They knock power right back into the tower, and Selfie claims that kill. Amazing has got a back. That's going to be 1 kill picked up, a tower going down, and Misfits are breaking this game open.
Origen playing too close to the fire this time and just got burned in that mid lane. Power of Evil stepping way too close to Llama Bear. Comes through with the body slam, with the flash.
They're going to get another.
Ultimate. They're about to run out of minions, but yeah, they're going to get it anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, man. Ghostplay, double tap. Hans Sama's coming up big, but the whole team was pushing together there. And as you said it, the momentum is huge for this team right now.
Okay, we got a lot that's going to come up in a replay, but Soaz is pushing top lane at the same time as this. He just turned around a big wave and is shoving it back in towards the Misfits base. Alphari should be able to deter that because, look, Soaz doesn't want to push up fully. He's going to TP in. They're going to try and box the Misfits in and try and fight, but Power of Evil is not here for this. Ignar and Hans Sama with Selfie have to take on the first part of the fight.
Oh, this is real wonky positioning, and Soaz has found Llama Bear, or is it the other way around? The rest of the team collapsing. Soaz flashing in, but the calling finishes the job. Hans Sama with another kill, looking for Peke. The outplay. We won in the 2v2. It looks like we're finally gonna get it. Hybrid, he's going down, or is he? Juked out. Hans Sama, meanwhile, triple kill down on the bottom lane, and Ignar is still punishing Amazing. That dragon is well earned, boys.
Misfits have completely opened this series up. 8 kills to 0. Power's finally gonna get there, but doesn't even hit the ult.
Missed it. Now that feels bad, man. Amazing gets knocked and bopped. Power of Evil is all by himself here. Llama Bear just waiting, trying to slither away with the ghost. He will make his escape, but nothing doing for the rest of Origen. 9-0. Misfits in the lead.
There is a hell of a lot to replay, so I don't even know whether we're going back for that Power of Evil and Hans Sama 1 versus 1.
We've come too far. We can't go back.
It was a long time ago because Misfits have taken it and absolutely run with it. This is a bigger lead than we saw in the last one. So
okay, I was wrong. We can't go back.
I want to see this. Yeah, Hans Sama turned. He was already kind of going, but still you can attribute a little bit to that. Turning away from Power of Evil, but Power of Evil just missing 2 crucial ults there. Alphari, the rest of this can just kind of go in 4 times because they've chased down Power of Evil, then look for the mid tower and capitalize on it. And Misfits, just with this confidence of when they're ahead, this is what we saw in Challenger. That was what a lot of the hype was about, was just how well they played while ahead. We saw in game 1 of this series that while playing from behind, they don't have the same gusto. So they need to start every single game of this series like this by the looks of it, if they want to keep this pace up.
Momentum-driven team indeed. So we're at 20 minutes into this game, and it has not lacked for action, but Origen have been on the receiving end way more than what we saw in the last game here. Barons hit the rift, but it still might be a while before we see it. There are, however, a lot of Misfits stacked up on top side. Clearing away that vision here, trying to deny Origen any way to spot out what they're up to. What a turnaround.
Big turnaround from game 1. Peke now wanting to maybe go on Selfie, but they think twice about it.
Hell, last time it didn't work out so well.
Didn't work out well at all. Origen. Power of Evil again.
Power. He's got no flash. He's got no ghost. The barrel pinballs him around, and he knows he's dead. Hans Sama wants to kill. It's going to be not denied as Hans picks it up. Coming back to life.
This time Hans doesn't turn from it. Didn't even use his heal in that case. And Selfie's holding mid lane at the same time. Origen looking completely different to how they looked in game 1. Game 1 they looked so good when it came to their map plays. This time they're getting run around. Selfie has his flash. He's holding it a very long time because he knows he's out.
Didn't even need it now, so it looks like we might be trading an outer for an inner. Origen not taking the greatest of trades, but they're doing what they can here. Misfits are going to go down behind here. In comes Llama Bear, but that will be not the end of it. No! Llama Bear, he goes for Amazing. He's going to tunnel over, though.
Misfits basically just kind of 2v3 push.
Oh, there's no more spell shield.
Away.
Peke, he's gone. Goodbye. Llama Bear picking up one more. Misfits just getting on the chase. They're thriving in this chaos. After they took the tower up topside, Origen were able to knock down an outer, but they're losing members for it. And this gold lead just keeps on growing for Misfits.
It's the complete inverse of the first game, where every single time there's a trade, it's Misfits that are getting more out of it. Every time there's more objectives, no kills so far for Origen on the board. Amazing got found. Not the hide and seek.
Oh, he flashes too. He's getting cut off by Ignar. There's nowhere to go. Amazing is gonna fall down again, holding on until Selfie knocks him out.
I don't know what Origen can do here with a 5-0 Lucian, a 3-0 Vlad, and a 3-0 Gragas at this point. Just everything is coming at Misfits. It's going to be the Baron because Amazing's dead. There's no smite available, so Misfits very comfortable in this game.
Hybrid trying to stall out. Ignar, though, is waiting in the brushes if they can turn onto Power of Evil. Baron going very low, so I was looking for the collapse. Power, instant exhaust down to him, burning his flash, ults, but Ignar and misses! They turn it once again! Llama Bear finds the kill, and it's back to Baron!
Power of Evil has not been able to find his ults, whether they've whiffed or whether people have turned or dodged them. This Cassiopeia pick has not been able to do the work. And now Origen again, they're going to try and interrupt the Baron. This time Rek'Sai is up, has got the ultimate through. Misfits are fairly low here when you look at Ignar, Selfie, and Llama Bear, so they are going to back away from this. Origen will hold their nerve for now. 13-0, no Baron going over to Misfits for now.
Not just yet, at any rate. So they were successfully able to stall out, but at grievous cost. The difference now has moved up 13-0 in kills. The gold lead at about 7,000 as we're 23 minutes into this game. Polar opposite. I don't even know if that quite does it justice.
And this game looked like Origen were set up in a good scenario. Again, the top lane matchup was in their favor. Again, the mid lane matchup was in their favor. The lane swap started out in their favor as well.
Yeah, but then Misfits got it together. They got back on track, and Alfari started to show up.
But a lot of that was punishing Soaz. The first kill was Soaz overextending in the top side. Then from there, they're able to find him a second time and just keep going on this kind of lead.
Yeah, and Llama Bear has also had an incredible performance as Peke burns the flash on Sama. Might be in some trouble right now. He flashes out. The barrel disengage, or is it the re-engage looking for Hybrid, who now has to burn his flash? It's just a whole load of summoners up in this mid lane.
A lot of summoners. Hans Sama, I was wondering if we were about to get our first Ardent Blaze kill. I think we've seen a couple of them, but
it's a rare treat.
W does not do a whole lot of damage. I was wondering. I don't think it was quite enough anyway to take out Peke. But Peke had to use his flash, as you said, a couple of summoners used, and Misfits playing with a lead, keeping on going on this one. And they're going to look for that Baron fairly shortly. They're going to turn around bot and top, push things back out, and from there try and bait Origen in, because Misfits' fight is so much stronger right now than Origen's.
And Ignar finds out that Baron's pretty strong too.
Ah, he had a shield.
Inspires out of the pit. Yes, he does, so it's all right. Hybrid can really only do a bit of harassment. Origen are stacking 3 members in the middle. Ignar once again. It's a little hard. Oh, the Baron range though.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Amazing's on the wrong side because he was trying to cut off Alfari.
Oh, he's going to be backing Peke, though. We've seen this one before. Peke quickly throws on the spell shield. Didn't actually need it, but there's no way that Origen are going to be able to contest this Ocean Drake, so they just back away, and it will go the way of Misfits. Even more regen, and Peke is taking a heaping helping of damage. The wave is instantly chunked by Hans Sama.
The thing is, it wouldn't have been worth Origen actually contesting that dragon either, because if you do fight for that and you end up losing a couple of people, the Baron is instantly the objective that Misfits look to. So it's on Origen now to kind of fall back, stop losing any kind of kills or skirmishes, don't drop anything, and don't let Misfits bait you in as well. It's a very tough game to play now. 2 blue trinkets plus a couple of sight stones should theoretically be enough for Origen to play this out fairly carefully. They got good bush checking as well. When you look at the likes of the Prey Seeker, you got Civis Q as well. So just try not to push into a bush, and should hold it okay. But Misfits are very, very strong. If they catch you, Origen are likely dead.
Yeah. They will find him. They will kill him, and they've done it 13 times this game. Controlling the Baron pit right now and just trying to bait Origen into a fight they know they cannot win. It is a lose-lose proposition at the moment. Origen, well, I hesitate to say they need a miracle, but they need something like it to get right back into this game.
It's going to take a lot for them to get back in. They're going to rely on, well, they're going to have to rely on Misfits making a mistake.
Yeah, Hans goes up to topside and instantly power turns around. Now Alfari and Soaz are dueling it out again, but we've seen this once before. Soaz gonna have to burn his flash. Alfari, once again, Nars into the wall in Mega, throws it, and he's gonna be able to pick up another kill. That will signal the Baron start. No teleport available, and Alfari's gonna spend his, already down to 7,000 health. Amazing, he's gonna have to hope for a smite steal.
Yeah, selfie's going on Peke.
Oh man, he's just going way deep now. Peke cannot turn this one around. The damage just simply isn't there. Amazing, trying to tag in. Peke actually gets himself a shield, and Selfie's actually in danger as he flashes away, but it's all been a distraction. Baron, though, is incredibly low power, picks up Alfari, the Baron falls, but it's secured by Misfits. Now will they lose some members? Peke is just trying to push everyone back. Power of Evil has managed some seriously key shutdowns. Misfits have been reduced to 2.
They need to try and get Selfie or Ignat out of this one, but Ignat's trying to help Selfie stay alive. Soaz is alive, TP's coming through. That's going to be Misfits getting wiped here. Origen are going to clean them up after the Baron, so the Baron will no longer be active.
So Origen managed to take advantage of the low health bars, finish the fight here. And that was the first big mistake we've seen from Misfits all game long.
It looked like Misfits tried to take the half-and-half fight with most of Misfits staying inside the Baron pit, but then Selfie going out to try and take out Peke, and it meant that perhaps there was just not enough damage. We didn't catch the top side of the fight during the live action, so I wonder whether Hans Sama was ending up tanking up the Baron for a while and just ended up
looked
dying
like Alfari.
because of it.
I mean, he was so, let's see this again, because it starts off, it looks really good, and Peke actually survives for a while.
Where does Hans Sama's health go? I want to focus more on that top side of this fight, because Hans Sama is the one that should be outputting a lot of damage here, but look, Power of Evil puts the damage down onto Ignat, Llama Baron Alfaria tanking down with Baron, and Hans Sama stays on the Baron, ends up just getting pushed to the back of the pit. The Baron was dead, and then Hans Sama alone 1 versus 3 was what actually shut him down. The rest of the team jumped out the back of the pit, so Hans Sama wasn't offering the damage. Selfie wasn't there to offer damage either, and it meant that Misfits focused the Baron and got completely torn apart.
Yeah, crucial, and it turned the fight right around for Origen, so they get some breathing room. No Baron to deal with for some time, as we see the final moments of Ignar and the Ace, and some much-needed gold for this Cassiopeia. Power of Evil just picked up 3 kills.
Big swing when it comes to Powers.
2 of them were shutdowns.
Hang on, Hans Sama wants to go.
Oh, okay. Maybe not.
It's not enough to turn the game on its head right now, but it does, however, slow down Misfits. We've seen these occasions before where they have been so far ahead and then overstepped just a little bit, and it knocks their confidence right back down. We saw it in a game, I believe it was against Forge in week 1 or 2 of the Challenger Series, where they overpush onto an inhibitor and then kind of regressed back, not wanting to do anything, and just slowly lost the game.
Because the one game they did lose.
Yeah, that was the one game they did lose, because Origen, you've got to look at the scaling on their side of things. Cassiopeia, you've got Sivir there as well. Like, Soaz thought he had the advantage in the 1 versus 1 out in the side lane, which is why he even traded against Alfari. He was like, I've got 2 items now. That's normally when I'm strong.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case, but it will become a time, we would think, where Soaz will be strong enough for that, but he had an experience disadvantage as well.
Soaz will definitely have it. Peke's still filling that utility role, and you're right. Power of Evil, the Cassiopeia does have some pretty sweet scaling. So, let's see if it comes in handy soon enough. We hit 30 minutes, but there's another tower fallen. Misfits continue to push that. Origen have only been able to find the outers, by the way. And that third one, well, just barely, and they had to trade for it.
This answers the will Misfits slow down question, because no, they won't. They will take out another tower, look to keep going forward. Infernal Drake is coming up in 1 minute. Let's not forget the first 2 dragons of the game. The Mountain and the Infernal went over to Origen, so they are still fairly strong when it comes to that.
Oh, Selfie. Okay, he's got a Proto Belt out. Still a little bit low right now. 45 seconds till that dragon spawns. Origen would love to get their hands on it. Meanwhile, up at top side.
So is just going to push that down. He's going to get that. Mountain Drake.
No way you defend it.
Aurelia's push. Again, Origen just making smart map moves to keep themselves in it. That's what won them game 1, pretty much.
So they do trade a tower there, or rather they get a tower there after they had lost all of their own outers. Origen stacking pretty strong here by the pit, seeing if they can bait out Misfits and then turn it into a free dragon. Selfie sticking around, regenerating off a lot of the minions. Hybrid and Power are here in the middle to contest him. And Alfari and Mega is back up top to clear the wave, but he does have TP available. Soaz does not.
For another 20 seconds, so Infernal will be up before that TP is available for Soaz, and that's why he's running down. See, already heading through that lower jungle. Alfari's going to recall grab home guard for himself. And there's a big flank ward out behind Origen here as well. Misfits are going to try and fight this. TP's going to come through soon.
Big calling. Oh, they instantly peel off of it. That is going to be the Infernal Dragon handed right over to Misfits. And that's about it.
Alphari cancelled his TP, didn't need it in the end, but the positioning for the TP from Alphari was actually kind of bad if that fight had gone up into the jungle. He wouldn't have had the flank off. It was good because they didn't fight. He could cancel it, but if that had completed and there was a fight, Alphari was no Mega Gnar, no flank, no nothing. So kind of a rough TP for Alphari.
I mean, they spooked Origen. The moment the calling came out, everyone just bailed.
Yeah, but that's another addition now to Misfits. First Infernal for themselves.
Yeah, that's big considering
that healing.
Their team fighting has already been pretty deadly. This is going to be really rough for Origen now.
Already got that healing from the 2 Ocean Drakes. Executioner's Calling has come out this time from Xpeke. Yeah. Hadn't seen it from Soaz earlier, so now somebody's finally got it. We'll cut through the healing from a lot of the champions here.
Yeah. Of course, the 2 Ocean Drakes definitely still help out quite a lot. On Origen's side, game plan right now. See if they can deny another Baron, maybe take one themselves. That was the first time we've seen a neutral objective really started this game by Origen, with the exception of the first couple of Dragons. So it had been Misfits really controlling that tempo and that pace for a long time until they kind of blew it on the Baron.
Well, Baron number 2 is coming up in 1 minute, so with all of this action around the bottom side, Misfits will swing their vision up onto the top side. You can see already 2 pink wards up there for them. But Origen are going to be aware that that is the obvious objective for Misfits. Out comes the culling again.
If they can even stop it, Peke, look at how much he gets chunked, and Hans, he's just not done yet.
Not done yet because he knows Irelia was on the bottom side. Power of Evil wasn't close. Misfits are going to try and push up. This is a little greedy here, but they can't get some damage down.
They might be able to do it. They knock Power of Evil away, but look at this tower. It's getting shredded through and sliced and diced and taken out. Picked up here. Now Misfits, can they get out or can they even turn the fight? They turn into the back looking for Power of Evil. Not enough damage as Hans has to flash away. Finished off, but the Mega Gnar comes in huge. Origen are trying to finish this, but they're getting scattered
Selfie's
left
still
and
alive.
right. Selfie still alive in this one, and everyone's falling down. It's only Amazing and Hybrid left on Origen.
Selfie somehow survived through that entire fight, and between Lamabet and Alphari, they had enough disruption to be able to blast that fight apart. Hybrid's going to come back out. They're going to try and push in for at least push the waves back. I don't think they can try and finish, but Misfits looks like they want to try and brute force this down. A lot of long death timers, but Amazing is going to lead the wave away. And without supers in that wave yet, Misfits may be just standing here for not a lot of gain here. They can look to go back and set themselves up for Baron. Hansam is up in 15 seconds, but so are Origen.
Oh, this is going to be oh so tense here. So Origen managed to hang on, but they do lose an inhibitor. The base has been broken open. Baron is live. 5 seconds and Hansam is back up. Will they base and run for it? Origen are predicting that that's going to be the case, and they're already moving out.
Origen are just going to try and secure whatever vision they can for now and defend against a potential Baron.
They're going to beat him here.
They know that they can just shove mid lane out in the process as well, as long as they don't get caught. Origen can still hang on to some of their control here, but this is a very risky move out from Misfits. The fact that they had chunked out Sivir though, and that is most of the wave clear, meant the Power of Evil was easy to blast back and then start the fight. Watch Selfie's health bar just go up and down this entire fight here as he got all of his health back. So Power of Evil, the one main threat that can shred through Selfie alongside Heke, is able to just be blasted out early on in this fight. Baron has been engaged by Misfits here. Origen are looking to close in. TP in way away from the fight out of Alphari, but he's Mega Gnar. If he can close the gap here, they can look to fight here. He's looking for it.
Try it. Oh, big heal plague on. Amazing though. He's in the front line, taking way too much. Hansama picks him up, and Alphari, what a Gnar! That's going to be Origen trying to finish off Hansama. Power of Evil gets it. Shutdown for Soaz. Misfits are the ones who are starting to get turned on, and Peke will fall. Selfie is in the midst of 3 here. Alphari comes back up. Soaz goes in. Double kill. 3 for 3.
3 for 3. That fight was a lot closer than Misfits were expecting. Are they actually going to start this? Selfie,
No
that
way.
is a madman's decision to start this Baron up. Alphari's
They're
going to
do it
as well. I don't know whether this is a smart decision at all. Misfits have no smite. This is a pure 50-50 in which they'd have to tank the Baron down, and they're going to back themselves away. But Misfits are able to kind of turn around what looked like a bad fight halfway through. And they are able to hang on for now.
Woo.
You can see just how close these fights are going to get with the Sivir, with the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, and Baron isn't the only thing worth fighting over anymore. In a minute, we've got Elder Dragon, and that means a lot for both these teams. So Power of Evil is outputting a serious amount of damage. Shutting down Hansama is oh so crucial in these fights. Let's take a look at it again, because it was so quick.
So this looked like just the flank from Nash should have been enough to win this fight, but look how far away Alphari ends up into this fight. There were better wards for him to TP in on. He gets Peke, but Power is untouched. Big ultimate hits Hansama, and then Soaz comes in to deal a lot of that damage. Gets the shutdown on Llama Bear as well, and Peke stayed alive just long enough to deal the damage. Round 2 has already begun. Engaged on the Baron here as Misfits are going to look to roll the dice again. This time, no flank opportunity.
Slow, amazing though, he can go for the steal. Alphari needs to deny this. No, the Baron, it's all for grabs.
He stole it!
It's amazing with the steal, gives his life, but that is worth.
Misfits again are trying to brute force this and not really doing their due diligence. This time, they couldn't block Amazing from coming over the pit. Alphari could have shut him out, but chose not to, it looked like. I didn't quite see the positioning. We'll get it in the replay again. But Misfits now are going to opt for the Elder Drake. They have to play up against the Baron buff, which is going to stall them out further. But Origen are hanging just barely in there in this game. Now they're getting to the point of the game where Origen have such a good team fight.
It'll be harder and harder for Misfits to close out, but they do pick up an Elder Drake uncontested as Origen have backed away. No smite available, with Amazing giving his life for a Herculean effort on the steal. Let's see it again.
So, could Alphari have forced... he wasn't Meganar in time. No, okay, I thought Alphari may have been able to shove Amazing back out, but the Meganar bar had not charged up, and it wouldn't have mattered from there after Amazing jumped in, so... a little unfortunate timing on that Meganar bar. Couldn't get rid of him. Llama Bear didn't hit the smite at the right time, or at least when it came to Amazing, actually did hit the smite.
Yeah. I mean, this is epic though right now, especially with this buff coming down to it. The team fights have already been really crazy, but now we've got Baron buff up against an Elder Dragon. Misfits still want to take this fight, but they've got to deal with Sideways.
Consider that Misfits were 13-0 up in this game. Origen are fighting all the way back. Couple of fights, a Baron steal, some overextensions out of Misfits has delayed them. Here comes the culling again.
Okay, this time it doesn't hurt as bad. Origen no one to back out. There's a wave pushing on bottom side. Alphari wants to come in. He's nearly got Meganar, but he is denied. And he is going to hop over, try to take a parting shot, as the minions will be cleared away, but it takes a little while longer with the Baron empowerment. We're close on to 40 minutes into this game. And yeah, it looked like it was going to be Misfits for the first 20, 25 of those. It just started to turn around. Origen have been able to get a bit more, but the inhibitor is naked here. What can Misfits get done?
Hans was trying to go forward ahead of the rest of his team. Big shield comes.
Oh, Selfie! Hello! He's going on in, but that's not enough damage. He goes golden for just a second, but will he survive? No pool available. He's going to get smited down by Amazing. And Ignar way too low. Alphari stopped up, but Llama Bear makes the monster play. Amazing, way too low. Power of Evil's popped, and now they turn for Peke. Do they have the damage? No! Soaz picking up a kill. Llama Bear left for dead, and only Hansama lives to tell the tale.
Again, another overextension from Misfits. Hans, you've got to be careful here. Soaz has cut him off. Hans is going to die here. He would have to have a massive...
Oh, flash by Peke. Whoa, 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 whoa! Hansama manages to stay alive, but it's going to be a chase now, and there's no way he's getting out of this one alive.
No, Amazing's got him, smites him down, and is that enough for game 2? For Origen, a 60-second death timer on Hansama. Origen still have the last remnants of the Baron buff up, and a couple of overextensions from Misfits have given Origen new life in this second game, looking to go 2-0 up against the Challenger champions.
41 minutes on the clock, and it is all turned on its head for Misfits. Origen will not opt to try and finish the job, though. Too cautious for that one. They'll take an inhib and back away.
Selfie was trying to just burn down Peke as much as he could and get in here. Like, the damage even comes out onto Power of Evil as well as this fight progresses, but Selfie couldn't get out. He didn't have enough tools to keep himself alive. Amazing is giving Hansama so much trouble for the duration of this fight that he has to back away, and look how chunky he is. He can't get over the wall. There was no damage left to help out Alphari. Hansama tries to get the 1v1 and looks pretty good doing it, but can't quite stay alive. The smite comes out a little bit later from Amazing, but Hans was never getting out of there alive.
Shouldn't have stopped for the Arch Blaze. It was cool looking, though.
He was dead anyway.
Yeah, look at the damage in those fights. And this is what happens when you get Hans Sama out of a fight. You can start to put out a lot more than he does as Peke. So Origen have really just played these and taken advantage of the tiny little mistakes. And the things are, this is what Misfits are good at. The micro, the fights. Origen are outplaying them here.
But even then, look at Lamabet's damage that comes out from that. I mean, Origen aren't particularly bad at fighting either, and we've seen Origen historically have that as one of their big power points in previous lineups where we've seen them taking teamfight compositions, or at least protection compositions where you're looking to have these kind of fights. And Peke is able to output a lot of damage on this Sivir the later we go, and is hanging on in there. Origen have made a few good moves to make sure that they can maintain their presence in this game too, but that Baron Seal has been so pivotal because Origen are right back in this, and I would even argue possibly are in a better standing here. Inhibitor has gone down for Misfits with 2 minutes on the Baron. Yeah. Real tough corner to dig themselves out of right now.
Also, really key for Soaz, who has been instrumental in picking these fights apart. He's got his Guardian Angel. He's not going down too easy anymore. And after it looked a little bit rough for him in the early game, he's turned it, big in team fighting. We talked about scaling. Well, I mean, we're here. We've been here for a little while, but now it's really looking scary. Between Power and Soaz, there's a lot of damage.
And if Misfits can't close this game, which they haven't been able to now for the last 20 minutes, despite having a massive lead, what does that do to the mentality, I have to wonder, of Misfits? Where you look at it and go, okay, game 1 they outplayed us. Game 2, we dominated the first 20 minutes and couldn't close. What have they got to do? Like, that's a pretty tough situation to get yourself out of. Try and figure out what you need to do for game 3.
Yeah, man. Some call them angels, but you've got to deal with your own devils to be able to get back into this one. Origen certainly have. 43 minutes into this, and they have looked much cleaner. Game 1 was obviously all theirs to take. This game, they had to claw back into it, but they managed to do it well. 45 seconds now on this Baron, and everyone's lining up for it.
You can call them whatever they want to be called, but if they can't get past Origen, they ain't making it into the LCS today. It doesn't matter how much hype you put behind them. They have to perform in-game, and Origen have, throughout game 1 and the last 10 minutes of this game, looked like the better team. Misfits, there is no doubting, had a very dominant first 20 to 30 minutes, but they didn't close the game yet. Origen are hanging on.
And through all of this, Misfits still have a gold lead too, but obviously that means less and less as the game goes on, and it's not huge anymore. But going from blanking Origen in the first 20-something minutes to now this, it's so close. Hans still wants to go aggressive.
I get very nervous when Hans does that.
When I hear the Ghost Blade, it's just like, yeah, triggered.
Specifically towards the Cassiopeia, because she's one of the only champions that can really heavily punish you for doing that. If you get caught in grounded, didn't have flash anyway, wouldn't be able to get out of there. So it's only after the ult hits that Mercurial Scimitar is actually effective. Misfits are trying.
Oh, that blue trinket though.
But again, this is the thing. 2 blue trinkets plus a lot of ability to check.
They started it. I don't know about this one. Soaz is coming real close. He's got his teleport too, but he doesn't even need it himself. Selfie around the side for a flank here. Well, last time this happened, Amazing managed to make the big outplay. Selfie going in. Soaz, though, is trying to get the back, but they get him against the wall for just a second. Amazing on the front line. Llama Bear having to flash away. Now they pop the Guardian Angel. Ignar, mostly untouched. Selfie, the damage is huge here. Can they do it? Hans Sama looking for more. Ignar gets the fight. Peke picks up Hans, but Peke's going down for it. And now Misfits clean up, and they only lose 1.
But look at how low the health bars are. Misfits cannot afford to turn to the Baron here, and Origen know it. Origen are just going to recall out. Amazing has his ultimate, so he can get back out onto the Rift. Soaz is just wasting their time for now.
He might even be able to get one back. Okay, Soaz, no, he jumps forward. Finally will be polished off. Teleport in. Misfits are going to try for this.
Yeah, and now that's because they know a healthy Alphari can tank up the Baron. Amazing is here, though. If Amazing can do it twice in the same game, Misfits, that would sting so heavily. Now they're having to juggle the aggro because Alphari has left. Hybrid is there. Mid lane has pushed up.
This is still tense, though.
Nobody's blocking Amazing again. He's back, and it's 6,000 health. This is not dying fast enough, and they haven't zoned Amazing away. Ignar's going to try.
Yeah.
This is 2v1.
He throws on the lead.
Oh,
okay, Alphari's going to hop the pit. Okay,
yeah,
they should be able to get this, but now they've lost another inhibitor just to Winians.
But they've got the Baron buff, which should give Misfits the ability to turn that wave back around, not really care too much about it. But it is still a bit of a difficult situation here. Misfits are looking to push with this Baron buff in the next couple of minutes. But, okay, this was the third
That was
attempt. This time Alfari only gets Soaz, but it seems to have been enough because Soaz was looking to get in the side on Hans Sama. A Power Beagle's ult this time I don't believe connected with Ignar. Ignar turned away from it. Really messy, everybody on top of each other fight. And Selfie just has enough damage. Peke took out Hans Sama because it's Civil in the late game, so was able to do enough despite being completely surrounded. The Misfits closed out the fight, finally got the Baron eventually, and maybe now have the ability to close this game.
Yeah, this is still going to be hard, though. They are going to have to watch the mid. They lost a lot there, but we're 47.5 minutes into this game. There's another Elder coming up. Misfits can try to force a fight on it, but it has just been such a toss-up. I think, like that last fight, that was a regular dog pile, man. You couldn't tell what was going on.
No, very messy fight. Hans Sama, even though he's having a good game, has basically been on full build for a long time now, so he's not getting too much more damage. He's got the boots that he can get rid of if he wants to. Look for a different option there, but look at how big the health bars are on Origen right now.
Yeah.
So tanky. Same could be said for Alfari and Lamabot.
That's true. I mean, Lama got chunked pretty hard. He barely made it out alive in that last fight. That might have been the difference between Baron and No.
Yeah, it would have been, because Amazing would have been around. There was no way that Misfits would have been able to secure it with the Smite, but now they want to look for Elder Dragon as well.
There we go. See if they can get it fast enough. They hesitated for just a moment,
but the
Origen
Baron
are close, but
the Baron isn't helping them here. Origen, at this point, still know that all they have to do is win one fight. Peke is running top. Origen is going to force the waves here, try and force them back here. What this is going to do is just delay Misfits' Baron buff, but Misfits are going to look for bottom side by the looks of it.
Off the coin, Inspire, looking for Soaz.
Oh,
he's
gonna try
teleporting.
and
Can he get out? Can he do it?
out.
The Soaz!
He got
real.
it! Soaz gets it again!
I never get tired of that.
Again, despite the nerfs, you can try and nerf Soaz, put an extra timer on cooldown for, or the channel time for teleport. Doesn't really matter. TP's his way out of it, man. Soaz. How many lives has this guy got?
Enough, I think, is the answer. All right, we're getting into 50-minute territory here. There's Baron, there's Elder. Misfits have everything they're going to get in this game to try and close it out. Will it be enough?
you got to feel like if they can't close this one out, there is not too much more. But, I mean, they're up against Cassiopeia, they're up against Civet. Like, trying to actually close this is going to be a precarious job. And the fact that Origen ran up mid, pushed the wave back, Peke went top lane to push it out, delays Misfits so that the Baron buff expires. There's no way they could push in with the Baron buff still active because the waves are too far away from them. They were already pushing away because of the inhib being down in the middle lane. So now it means that Misfits can't keep going forward. It's about to expire right now. There it actually goes as we're watching Ignar on screen. So Misfits now just regular push power.
Yep. Still have the Elder Drake. Origen just keep trying for the brush bait here. Not happening. Misfits do play this out in the open quite often. But they don't got many waves to work with, and they're, as you mentioned, not empowered any longer. So Misfits, let's see if they can brute force this. There is no tower in the mid, but they have no inhibitor, so they're dealing with super still. Alfari finding Soaz. Puts a little bit of damage onto him. Boomerang sent flying.
Your definition of a little bit of damage changed very quickly when that third hit of Hyper.
I was like, oh yeah, that's what that does. So, I mean, this is just a slow push in with the inhib. It's gone down. There's not much Origen can do about this because there really weren't any openings presented by Misfits. But it's going to be up to topside now. See if they can push that wave.
But this time, Misfits don't over-aggressively go for the push back and try and engage Origen. But what they have got to deal with is bottom lane isn't pushed out, and top lane is kind of pushed back towards them slightly as well. So Origen are going to hold again. We're going for a third Baron, by the way. Yeah, this game is going to require another one without a big mistake coming out.
Oh, it may require one with a big mistake as well.
Oh, yeah, there may be a big mistake coming out there as well. But what I'm trying to say is that Misfits don't look like they want to push or try and fight without a Baron buff or without fighting for the Baron.
But good news for Misfits, they get themselves their inhibitor back up. The one they lost in the course of taking the Baron. Minions were hard at work. So another 2 minutes before that next Baron does come up. Alfari's busy on the bottom side. They did push a wave up in the top. It's being pinged by Misfits, but they feel much stronger as a unit here. And they're not all together, but they're close enough to be able to react. Alfari's got his TP, Soaz does not.
It's okay though, Devin. If you're an Origen fan, at least, for anybody that is. They're used to this position. They've had this a couple of times this split, so...
I wonder how long we're going to get. We've had a few records here.
Yeah, we've had just a couple. We're not on track for CS records yet, though.
But I want to know how long you have to go until ZZ Rock Portal starts happening.
We got more time on that.
Yeah, we still got 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, people only have like 1K, apart from Peke and
Well, they keep buying
Hansam and
elixirs,
Alfari.
man.
Yeah, but you need to get to the point where you've got like 6K in your inventory, so you can just buy and sell and buy and sell, that kind of thing. We're a long way out from that.
Yeah. Well, you can do the same thing with like Guardian Angels. As soon as you pop, you just sell it. You're not going to get the use out of it at that point. Speaking of which, they're all up. So there will have to be a lot of deaths before anyone's going to be able to end this one.
Be a long set of fights.
Look at that gold, by the way. Misfits have been in the lead, but I mean, that's 5K, 6K, 7K at most. And we're in way late game territory.
But then there's a big like crevasse where Origen
the
stole the Baron, got the turnaround. Like,
yeah.
I mean, on any other game, I think that would have just been like going into Origen territory, but Misfits had built themselves up so much of a buffer that they could hold on.
And they are good at holding. As you said, they are quite experienced in this. Now, Misfits are trying for the Death Brush. Blue trinkets aplenty, though, on the side of Origen. Will they use them?
We are 20 minutes over the average game time of Misfits from Challenger.
Yeah, well, they usually ended games quite quickly.
Yeah, 33-15.
Yeah, so this is something they may not be as experienced in.
No, absolutely not. And I can guarantee you scrims didn't go this long either, even if they were scrimming G2 or Splice, which is what we did a few weeks back from their coaches. Misfits are going to try it.
Baron's live. Okay,
number 3.
50-50. Origen are all here.
Alfari's on the bottom lane.
Alfari's on the bottom. You're going to peel off that right quick.
But there are no wards for him to TP on as a flank. The closest one is right by the Origen base. So not exactly.
Well, you know, Origen know a few things about TPing into the enemy base when everyone's away.
Yeah, but this isn't the kind of TP that they'd be able to win. They need Alfari in that fight. You can see Alfari had to recall out, couldn't do much more with the way of pushing because he would have expended his Mega Knight.
Okay, round 2. There's a board right in the back of the pit. Soaz has got TP. He's sitting on Fountain right now. Origen are just biding their time.
Yeah, Soaz is getting ready to go. Misfits pick up the TP, not in the Fountain because he needs it safely.
Inside the pits.
Alfari's going to flank from the backside.
Alfari is looking for it, so is Selfie. Can they get the fight here? Turning on Ignar and Hansama. Full channel of the calling, and Alfari looking for a Gnar. Not going to be able to find it where he wants. Origen are peeling away. Selfie, Power of Evil's gone, though. It's suddenly a 5v4. And Amazing's bailing out. They managed to get themselves one. Origen in full retreat.
And this was a team fight where Alfari... Oh, hang on, Hans.
Peke is gone. Hansama coming up big. Hybrid is all alone. Selfie takes him out. 3 members down. Misfits, they can go for this.
That's going to be the end of this game. Misfits don't even need the Baron because it was the fight they wanted. Soaz going to try and pick off Hansama.
Oh, he might just do it. Hans is going way too low. Soaz gets the job done. Alfari tags in, but Soaz is causing so many problems for this team. Trying to end. Death timers are still way too high, but that Guardian Angel keeps on ticking. Ignar will not go down. That's going to be it. And only Amazing here to defend will not be enough to stop this push.
Misfits are going to push in. Amazing can't do enough. He's going to try and play them, but it's not going to be enough. Still 40-second death timers for Origen.
Just ignore Amazing. That's the strat here. 55.5 minutes. They knock him into his own Nexus, and they're coming for that 50 gold. After all said and done, Misfits will finally even the series 1-1. Wow.
A 13-0 start to this game showed you what we saw from Misfits in Challenger, but it took 56 minutes to get past one of the LCS teams with the same start they had in Challenger. Misfits looking great in the early game, Origen firing back in the late game.
And then the late game.
One team fight decided it all at the end for Misfits. Power of Evil couldn't hold up. Misfits had too much damage for Origen to hold.
Oh yeah. The thing is, though, you could see Misfits learning from their mistakes, even if it took a couple of them before it happened. That last fight, they peeled off very quickly, used the Baron to bait, and flanked from 2 angles. And even though Origen still had a ton of damage, I mean, that was that was as good as it was going to get for them.
Alfari didn't even ult because he couldn't find.
He was trying. It's like, where am I going to go? Oh, screw it.
So
we'll
he was
go
going into the fight, wanted to try and get Power of Evil, then he died. But no, that was a much better start from Misfits.
Absolutely. So we're going to head over to the analyst desk, take a closer look at how they did that in game number 2.
Thank you very much, guys. And I personally am impressed with what the Misfits showed here, both in being resilient and coming back in the early game and then almost getting turned around and then finishing it in the end. There's a lot to talk about, so I want to start with taking another look at the draft, because you guys mentioned how this was a much better draft coming out of the Misfits. What specifically?
Well, I think they picked up Gregas. I like that. They took it away from Amazing. He played good in the first game, so they actually had a situation where they could actually force something. And on the other hand, they also had the Lucian Karma lane into Sivir and Toronto, I believe. Yeah.
Yep. Right
So
there.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, their bot lane is winning matchups super hard, and they just had good lanes, and they actually pulled the trigger on the early game, so they got the leads, and they maybe should have closed out the game.
Maybe.
But in the end, they got a win, and that's what matters.
That is what matters. Mickey, tell us a little bit more about that Lucian Karma versus Sivir Trundle matchup.
I think Lucian Karma should stomp Sivir Trundle like in every case. I don't think how Lucian and Trundle and Sivir can win that lane. So, but I think it was a lane swap anyway, so they dodged that lane, so that was fine. But then I think Gragas carried the early game a bit. He killed Irelia, and then Gnar killed him 1v1, and they won a 4v5 fight. So I thought the game was over, but it went on for longer.
Yeah, definitely a much better performance out of Llama Bear for game 2. You say the 4 versus 5 fight, and we have that lined up. Hans Sama, he is so hyped coming into the series, and here it was quite impressive, or was he just cleaning up? What was happening here, Mickey?
I think OG just had a slight miscommunication because no one followed up on the TP flank that Soas had. Because Gnar has no TP, so I think they should be able to win the 4v5 fight. But Hansa played it really good here.
Insane Lucian play.
So yeah.
So I never know if you guys are being serious when you use the word insane or not, so what?
I think I can probably guess. I mean, you look at this fight again, no one ever tries to hit Hansama. Everyone is running away from Hansama. Rightfully so, the team is caught out of position. Yes, Hansama is going to be the guy who receives those kills. It was solid play, but it's more team play and OG getting caught out than a Hansama highlight reel moment. People ran away, Hansama shot them in the back. It was pretty
moment
clean.
in the sun.
Yeah, you can see that he's really good on Lucian, like the way he auto resets and stuff. Like he knows how to master this champion, so it's always great. I have the pleasure to see a good Lucian player every day when I play with Cobble. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is almost the same, but
Mickey, you guys don't.
Yeah, same. I love playing with Evolution.
Well, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
So, like, that's
It's
what I-
unreal.
Good that you love it.
we have
Yeah.
no choice.
Nice.
It's unreal.
Good stuff. As we see Misfits there, as said, impressive for them coming back. But we're going to dive into a bit of the later game in a second. We have a couple of replays around Baron specifically. First up, a steal from Amazing, and it was already starting to turn. Trashy.
Yeah, I mean, this is the beauty of jungle role. Like you can steal Nash, and then suddenly you're gonna look like a god, right?
Yeah,
So,
player of the game.
yeah. that I mean, but it's kind of like the OG magic, you know? They fall behind, and then somehow they're just still in the game at 45 minutes, and it's suddenly a 50-50 game.
So we want to focus on Peke's positioning in this fight, specifically.
He's a man. I like it.
This is a man's man.
Yeah, he has
Runs
no
over.
fear. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He runs over the whole team to the AD carry.
Yeah.
It actually starts off pretty good. He has really good positioning where he can free hit. But then he decides like, now I'm just gonna kill them all, you know, and that's not always how it works.
Evolution's the first
As
on the
an
list.
AD carry. Yeah, as an AD carry, that's not always great. Decision-making wise, do you guys think that Misfits found themselves in a little bit of unfamiliar territory in the end? What could they have gone for Baron more decisively?
What do you think?
What
What would we have done?
What would Splice have done?
I don't know. We would win the game.
Easy. You
Easily.
would have never gotten to this point.
Yeah.
I like
We
it.
just close it out. Just
Clean,
1-1 and
concise. I mean, when we look back at the Misfits season, all of their games were so fast. They were always so dominant. Maybe they've been here in scrims, but it seems unlikely. So often we hear teams about ending scrims early. All of Misfits games in the regular season for Challenger ended early. Quite frankly, I don't think they have any experience in this late game, and it definitely showed here.
Yep, they definitely show. But they won in the end. We're just going to take a final look at the final fight, because it could have very well turned around,
And
but it didn't.
As we hop into this one, you guys talked about Cassio Sivir being unstoppable. What went wrong for OG here that this team fight didn't end for them?
I think part of you were just dying first, like kind of lost him the fight. He did a pretty bad ultimate. Actually, Vladimir kind of outplayed him by pulling his ult. And then I think Expect could just run. But yeah, he got kind of caught, and here the game was over.
Yeah, it was. And I think we're going to strap in for 5 games in this one. That's what it's starting to look like. Over on the other stream where Rocket is fighting Schalke, they're currently in the 3rd game. I don't know if we're going to get a live check-in for that. Yeah, there we go.
This
is, of course,
one.
This is game 2, exactly.
So-
So they won game 2.
Yeah, for those of you who did not see this, once again, Rocket were able to pull ahead in the early game, get a pretty significant lead. Gilius and the rest, and Fox specifically, made some misplays, gave Rocket the opportunity to get ahead. And we've talked about it before. You get a Vladimir ahead, don't plan on winning any team fights anytime soon.
The most important thing to talk about is that Schalke is heavily drafting early game and still losing the early game.
Yeah.
And then there's not really a lot of hope for the future of the game, right? So I've seen the draft for the next game, and it should be more promising for Schalke.
Yeah, spoiler alert. So they are into game 3 over there. Rocket is 2-0 up right now. If you want to check that out, you can go head over to EULCS2. Do you guys think Rocket is going to close it out 3-0?
I think this one, judging by the draft, I think Schalke is going to win because they have Malzahar in their team.
Okay.
What he said.
What he said. Woo, team synergy.
Just draft Malzahar, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in Origen and Misfits as they ready up for game 3 over here. So don't go anywhere.
Yeah, you can't you can't rage create, is what I'm saying. Like, you can't go to the toilet just because you want to. No, all F4. Wait, do we ourselves or what? No. If you actually will yourself, you can pause and go to the toilet. Wait, we lose a ban because I need to. How's that even fair? We win. Chase. Okay, go. Okay, no more chase. Take. Good job. What is happening?
The Baron, though, is incredibly low power. Picks him out, Fari. The Baron falls, but it's secured by Misfits. Now will they lose some members? Pake is just trying to push everyone back.
Careful, guys.
Vladimir. Nice.
Yeah. Lucian.
Nice.
Lucian. I get in the problem.
I'm dead, but Karma's 1 HP, Karma's dead. Nice. Lucian is out of the fight,
Okay, we can win.
Origen are peeling away. Selfie, Power of Evil's gone, though. It's suddenly a 5v4. And Amazing's bailing out. They managed to get themselves one. Origen in full retreat. After all said and done, Misfits will finally even the series 1-1.